Hello students, and welcome back once again to another video for the class 9 gravity chapter, and we'll be continuing with the exercise today. And today we have theoretical questions next in the exercise, so we'll get on with it. The first question is, what is acceleration of free fall? So first of all we have to remember what is free fall. So free fall is when an object is falling under the influence of gravitational force only, when the object is falling under the influence of gravitational force only, and no other force is acting on it, then such a fall of an object is called free fall. Okay, so if the object is free falling, obviously it is going to have acceleration, and that acceleration we already know, we have done the whole derivation of it, and that acceleration is because of the gravity of our earth. Okay, so whenever the object is free falling, it is going to have certain acceleration, and that acceleration is because of gravity, and we know that acceleration due to gravity is small g, and it is 9.8 meters per second square. So over here the answer is the acceleration of an object when it is under influence of gravity only, it is called free fall, and when it is free falling, it is known as acceleration due to gravity, and that is given by 9.8 meters per second square. So every object, if it is free falling, it has this acceleration. Okay students? The next is, what do we call gravitational force between earth and object? Now actually this is a very simple and easy question. What do we call the object in gravitational force on earth? Simply we call it gravity. We have given it a small name, gravity. Okay? Instead of the whole gravitational force, we are calling it gravity. Okay? So the object falling or the object which is having gravitational force between the earth and itself is simply called gravity. Now the next question. This is actually a thinking type of question. Amit buys a few grams of gold at poles. So North Pole and South Pole. So a person has asked his friend Amit to buy gold, and he meets his friend at the equator, that is exactly at the center of our earth, not at the poles, but when you move forward towards the equator. So will his friend agree on the weight? So the friend has asked to bring him some gold, and he has bought it. Amit has bought the gold, but when he comes to the equator to meet his friend, will he agree on the gold that he has bought? Okay, we'll have the answer for that. Whenever we buy the gold, we keep it on the weighing machine, and the weighing machine calculates for us and gives us the mass that we have taken. So according to that, when the person bought this, Amit bought this gold, suppose he bought it for 100 grams of gold, and I have converted it in kilograms, so it is 0.1 kilogram. And then we know that at equator, suppose the hint is given, the value of G is more at the poles than equator. So because of the shape of the earth, it is somewhat closer to the surface, and therefore they are saying that the value of G is more to the poles. Therefore the acceleration is more at the poles. So we are taking approximately 10 instead of 9, just for an example. Okay, so let's say that it is 10, and the machine that is we are using to measure the gold that the person is buying, on that it gives us 1 Newton. Okay, and according to that machine, it is 0.1 grams, because it calculates reverse and gives us that how much gram it has shown. So 0.1 gram, the Amit has bought that much amount of gold. But when he takes that gold and brings it to the equator, the weighing machine now uses 9.8 newtons as the weight or the acceleration of gravity. Okay, so now instead of 10, it is 9.8, so it is less, and when he uses that, it will give you 0.98 newtons, so a little bit less than the original. Before it was 1 newton, now it is 0.98 newtons, so almost 1 newton but not 1 newton. So according to that, when he measures that on the new machine at the equator, it will give that the grams that have taken is less, because if there is less gram over here, then only it is showing less weight. But ultimately he has bought the same amount of gold, but when he is using it at equator, because there is less acceleration, the weight on the machine is less, and that is why the friend thinks that Amit is cheating him. He has taken a little bit of gold himself. That is why he will not believe that the weight is same. I hope it is clear to you students. Because of the different accelerations, the weight on the machine will be shown differently. Okay, he has got the same mass, but because of the change in the acceleration, it will be different. Okay. Okay students, another two questions for you. The first one is actually very easy and we studied that when we studied the chapter. The question is, why does the sheet of paper fall slower than the crumpled piece of paper? So we talked about this. The question here is that if the free fall or the acceleration of earth is acting equal on both the objects or every object, that is 9.8, then why is that a sheet of simple paper, when it is dropped along with a crumpled piece of paper, when both are dropped together, that the ball of paper drops quickly and the piece of paper, which is just a sheet of paper, walks or falls very slowly? Why is that? It's because the air resistance or the resistance of the air or the fluid friction of air is acting in the upward direction of the piece of paper as well as the ball. But because the surface area of the crumpled ball is much less than compared to the sheet of paper, that is why the fluid friction by air on the ball is very less compared to that of the clean sheet of paper, and that is why the fluid friction acting on it is more, and that is why it falls slowly and the ball falls faster. It is just because of the fluid friction. Gravitational force is acting equally on both, but the force of fluid acting in the upward direction is more on the simple sheet of paper than on the crumpled ball because of its surface area. Okay? The next one is a numerical. The numerical is that what is the weight of 10 kg object on moon and on earth? So you are simply supposed to find the weight. Okay? So in order to find the weight, we know the simple formula, m into g, and we take w is equal to mass is 10 kg and g is 9.8. So whenever it is not given, we take it as it is. And now we have 10 into 9.8 gives us 98 newtons. So the weight of the object on earth is 98 newtons. Now we find the weight on the moon, and for that we know the formula that weight on the moon is equal to 1 by 6 on the weight of earth. We did this when we did the ratio of the weight on earth and weight on moon. We know that when we did the derivation during the chapter. If you don't remember it, please watch the video once again. So this is the ratio, and we need to find the weight on moon. So 1 by 6 multiplied by 98 newtons, because that is what the weight of earth is, that we just found over here. Simply substitute that value over here. 6, 1 is 6, 3 is remaining. So 6, 6, 36. Again, 2 is remaining. So we put a decimal point and we have 20. So 6, 3 is 18. Again 2 is remaining. So we again put 20, and this goes on and on. So 16.33. So what you get is weight on moon is 16.33 newtons. I hope it is clear to you, students. Okay, very simple numerical. This is a recurring digit. You can only take it up to 2 decimal places. It's okay. We move on to the next part. Okay, students. So this is a very interesting numerical. The question states that a ball is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity of 49 meters per second. Calculate the maximum height with which it rises. Okay, so the ball is thrown vertically upwards. So how much maximum height it will achieve? Because let's say that from this surface, the ball is thrown vertically upwards. So it is thrown upwards with a velocity of 49 meters per second. So its initial velocity is 49 meters per second. But we know that whenever a ball rises up, it's going to come down, because the acceleration is acting downwards, and we know that when the acceleration is acting in the opposite direction, its velocity is going to decrease. That is why when it is thrown upwards, it is going to reach a certain point because of the negative acceleration of the earth, that is minus 9.8, because it is going in the opposite direction, and the acceleration of 9.8 is still acting on it. but in the downward direction. That is why its velocity slowly decreases. When there is acceleration, it should increase, but this is negative acceleration, and that is why its velocity is decreasing. So in this case, the acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.8, is acting as deceleration or retardation that we studied in the motion chapter. That is the first chapter. So in this case, the free fall is acting as negative acceleration, and that is why from 49 meters per second, its velocity when it is going up slowly starts to decrease, and at one point it becomes 0. When it becomes 0, it reaches the maximum height, and from there it starts falling down again, because we know that when it is going up, it's going to come down. That is why that ball is reaching a certain height, and then it starts falling once again. Now with the acceleration of 9.8. So previously it was deceleration of minus 9.8, but now it is going for the acceleration of plus 9.8. However, we are only interested in finding the height. So the first part is you are supposed to find the height, or how much distance it is going to reach. So for that we have three equations of motion. If you remember, that is v is equal to u plus at. But in this case, because there is acceleration and gravity involved, we are writing v is equal to u plus gt. Second one is 2gh equals v square minus u square. Okay, that is 2as, where g is acceleration and s, that is displacement, is height. And the third one is h is equal to ut plus half gt square. That is s is equal to ut plus half at square. Now for this particular numerical, we will not be needing the third one. Okay, we will only need the second one, because we need to find the height. When we are finding the height, over here we have initial velocity, over here final velocity v is 0. So we have initial and final velocity, we have acceleration, g is equal to minus 9.8, ball is thrown upwards, so the acceleration is acting downwards, minus 9.8. So we have g, we have v, we have u. The only thing remaining is height. So we will use the second equation to find the height. So 2g is minus 9.8, h we need to find, v square is 49, v square, final velocity is 0, okay, and u square, that is initial velocity, is 49 square. Okay students, now because this is multiplication, the whole term will be negative, so it becomes minus 2 into 9.8 into h equals 0 minus any number is number itself, so I am writing minus 49 whole square. Now because there is negative sign on both the sides and both are in multiplication, there is no subtraction or division happening, subtraction or addition is happening over here. So negative sign can be removed from both the sides. So now what you have remaining is 2 into 9.8 into h equals 49 square. You need to find the height, so simply do the cross multiplication. Therefore h equals 49 into 49 upon 2 into 9.8. When you do the solution, you will see that 9.8 5 becomes 49. Okay, when you do the table of 9.8 or divide 49 by 9.8, you will see that it will become 5. So 5 into 49, simply multiply this, or you can simplify right over here. Okay, so 2 2s is 4 and 2 4s 8. 1 is remaining, so 5. Now simply multiply 5 into 24.5, it will become 5 5 25, 5 4 is 20, 21 22, 5 is 10, 11 and 12. So 1225, but remember we have one decimal point over here, so in the answer we will put one decimal point, so it becomes 122.5 meters. So the height that it will achieve, is 122.5 meters. I hope it is clear to you students. The next part over here is find the total time it takes to return to the surface. So whatever time it takes to go up, the same time it will take to come down. So we only have to find the time once, then we simply add the same thing to itself, so we'll get the total time. Okay. So first of all, we'll use this equation, that is the simplest one. V is equal to u plus gt. Final velocity v is 0. Initial velocity u is 49. And acceleration, once again, it is minus 9.8. So I am writing plus minus 9.8 into t. We need to find the time. And when we remove the brackets, it's plus and minus sign, it will become minus 9.8 into t. We need to find the time. So take this whole term minus 9.8 on the other side of the equal to sign. So it becomes plus 9.8. Plus 9.8 t equals 49. Because they both are in multiplication, so it's the same term. Now you need to find the time. So take 9.8 in the denominator, cross multiplication. So t becomes 49 upon 9.8. Once again, when you divide 49 by 9.8, you will get the answer 5. And therefore, the time taken for the ball to go to its maximum height is 5 seconds. But remember, we are asked about the total time, not the time to reach the maximum height. So for reaching the maximum height, it takes 5 seconds, and when it comes down, again 5 seconds. So the total time is 5 plus 5. So the answer is 10 seconds. So the object or the ball will take total 10 seconds for going up and coming back down. I hope it is clear to you, students. In the next video, we will continue with the exercise. Till then, have a nice day.